Difficult night tonight, Nick. Where do you think it went wrong?
I don't think we started the game quick enough. I thought we looked a bit tentative. We didn't really show any conviction in that first part of the game, and we spoke about that. We spoke about not allowing, we don't really ever allow opposing teams to gain in momentum and gain in enthusiasm here. And I think, giving a goal away so early and not really getting into our rhythm in that first half as sort of gave the impotence to the opposition. And in Champions League football, you cannot do that.
Why do you think that the start was so slow? Was it a hangover from the weekend?
No, I think this playing against a good team. It's maybe so many games in a short space of time. But we can't. We want to play at this level, and we've consistently played at this level. So we'll look at the game and we'll look to see where we get back into our rhythm and where we impose ourselves back in games. I thought the second half was much better, and I thought we started to control the game and we started to be offensive a lot more. So the positive is that we finished the game strong, and we have to take that into Birmingham on Sunday.
You obviously had a huge amount to do in the second half. In the changing room at half-time, did you feel there was belief amongst the team that you could get the 3 goals?
I think there's always belief in the team. They recognise that they started the game slow, but they believed at half-time that they could get back in the game. I made a slight tactical adjustment that meant that we could get a foothold in the game, and we did that, and we managed to get into offensive positions. But we hit the crossbar twice, and the goal that was offside, so I've not really seen that one yet. But we just didn't put the ball in the back of the net. What's
the mood like in the changing room at the moment?
I think they're an honest group. I think they know that they've come short by their own standards, but they've played a good team. So yeah, it's very, very disappointing, and yeah, we're hurting at the moment because Champions League is where we've significantly been playing well. But it's football. We lost against a team that was better than us for 135 minutes.
Did they let you or let themselves down tonight?
I don't think they let themselves down. No, I thought the second half that they imposed themselves and they got back to the way that they're playing, and they didn't allow the opposing team to control the whole game, and they showed the fight and the spirit and the desire and the hunger to try and win the game. So we have to take that into Birmingham.
I know you'd much rather be in Europe, but now that you're out and you'll have fewer games to play, what kind of an advantage can that give you in the domestic leagues and cups?
Well, I don't think it gives us an advantage because the team at the top of the table don't play Champions League, so it'll give us an advantage over previous seasons in the sense of we'll have some set more. We'll have 6 more 7-day breaks or 5-day breaks that we've had in the previous season, so it gives us more rest and more time to train and more time to get back to our standard.
Yeah, I bet you're thrilled to be here. You set the bar so high, I think we're all sat here surprised. Is there an element of you that's surprised by that result, but by not scoring here?
No, I'm a realist. If you don't play well in football matches or you don't start football matches well, then you're always going to give yourself a mountain to climb. And we didn't play well enough in the first half. We didn't show enough hunger and desire to control the game, and we didn't show enough clarity and enough conviction in trying to get the ball down and start to dictate our tempo and our style. So I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. I know the Champions League is so competitive, and with it being such a random draw, you never know who you're going to get, and you have to prepare to be the best. You see on Sunday we draw with Bristol, who people perceive we should beat. The women's game is getting so competitive that just thinking you are the best is going to leave you short. You have to consistently improve because everybody else is improving.
How good are Atletico, bearing in mind the sides you've faced over the last couple of seasons? Can they go on and perhaps win this competition?
I think they're a good team. I think this competition shows that there are lots of good teams, so going on and winning it, they will have to consistently perform like they did for the first 135 minutes of the 2 ties. But I think we've shown what a good team we are and how we can play in that second half. We can control the game, and I'm not too worried that playing Atletico because the second half shows how we can play.
How's Lauren Hemp? Because I think she impressed everyone until she got a knock. Is that a serious knock?
It's a hamstring, but we don't know how severe it is. She'll be in tomorrow to be assessed, but we didn't want to take it with where the tie was going. We didn't want to take any chances. We've got important games coming up.
I know you don't pick out individuals. Were you impressed though by what she did, 17 years old in the Champions League tie like that?
Yeah, I think I'm hugely impressed by Lauren Hemp, Georgia Stanway, 2 young English players that are taking the game to Atletico Madrid and showing that they are fearless and that they want to work hard to play at the highest level. Lauren Hemp, Georgia Stanway for me were our best two players tonight.
Nick obviously came close to scoring tonight, hit the crossbar 3 times. Is it a bit of a concern for you that those chances were more long-range shots and they weren't really clear-cut into the area?
Yeah, we've said before, we need our forwards to show more hunger to score goals and be more clinical in front of goals. So, we want to create more chances, more clear chances, and we'll get on the training pitch and work hard to improve that.
Do you think that the team are under more pressure now to win the league title, win another cup again?
I think we put ourselves under more pressure than anybody could put us under. In 5 seasons, what we've achieved. We've just gone out the Champions League in our 3rd season, and it's only the 3rd game that we've lost in the Champions League. So we know that we're a good team, and we're not going to panic. We'll accept it, but we know moving forwards that we have a big game on Sunday at Birmingham.
Of course, you brought the additions in over the summer to increase the squad. Is that more of a headache for you now that obviously with less games you've got a bigger squad to deal with? How are you going to manage keeping everyone happy?
No, I don't think my job is to keep people happy. I think the players' job is to prove to me that they're good enough to play in the games. I'll pick the team that I feel will impose itself on the game, and if I need to make changes, I'll put people in and they'll get their chances to go and get the shirt for the next game. And I thought Tessa Wooler and Caroline Weir tonight, I thought showed that they've got a hunger to be in the starting 11, and they've put themselves in line to potentially start the game on Sunday.
Nick, you mentioned slow start there. Obviously, you spoke about that in terms of the Bristol game as well. It was almost a theme towards the end of last season as well. Is not starting games quick enough becoming a long-term issue now?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a long-term issue, but I would say it's on my mind. I don't think we start games at the intensity. If you were to watch us against Everton, we started the game at Everton last week. We started the game really quickly and we imposed ourselves on the game and we got a real foothold in the game. We didn't do that against Bristol and we didn't do that tonight. And we have to start games quicker and we have to get ourselves into the game and put the opposition under pressure a lot earlier.
And whilst obviously it's a positive that the likes of Lauren Hemp and Georgia Stanway, young players, are able to perform in these kind of games, is it a worry that maybe some of the more experienced players are not quite hitting the heights that they can at the moment?
I think it's for every player, whether you're a young player or a senior player or you're between 20 and 25 and on that journey of going from just being a young player into being a professional that has been in the team for 4 or 5 years. It is your responsibility to impose yourself on the game, and I'm a believer that as a player you'll always find your level. Your performances become consistent whether they're good or bad, and you control whether they are good or bad. So, it's up for our players to make sure that they get their level up for the whole 90 minutes. But like I said, the plus point for us is that we finish the game strong, and that'll be something that we'll take into the Birmingham game.
Does it add any pressure now to Sunday's game? It's obviously about the toughest game you could have had after this.
No, because I don't really ever distinguish between opponents. All the games are tough. If you take any game like you've seen, I consistently speak to the team about the fact that we have drew against Bristol in 2016, London Bees beat Chelsea. Last year, Yeovil drew with Arsenal. And these are all results that people would perceive the big teams should be. The women's game is growing, and if people don't understand this, then you're going to be left behind. If you're a player or a coach, all the teams are improving, and I think that's a good thing for English women's football, that not only do we have the top 3, but everybody else is improving. This year will be the most competitive WSL season ever, so we don't take any game lightly.